Okay, so in this section, 1.5, Basics of Factoring Polynomials, we are going to be working with factoring polynomials. So first, what is a polynomial? A polynomial is a single term or a finite sum of terms in which all variables have whole number exponents and no variable appears in a denominator. So here are some examples. These below are all polynomials. So let's look at this. It says, by definition, a polynomial is a single term. So 2 and 4x are examples of single term polynomials. There's only one term. 2, 4x, those are just one term. Or it can consist of a finite sum of terms, okay? Sum of terms. So the rest um, are actually separated by plus or minus signs. So we have a sum or difference of terms here. Finite sum is that it does not go on forever. So we have a set number of terms. And then all the variables here have whole number exponents. So you're going to see some of these have variables. Some do not, like the 2. It's still a polynomial. Some terms, x plus 5 has a variable term x and a number, which is called a constant. 2 terms in the polynomial is called a binomial. 3 terms, like this one right here, is called a trinomial. The variables are all going to have whole numbers as their power. So right here, negative 4 x to the 5th, power of x is 5. It's a whole number. So you're not going to have any negative powers or fractional powers or decimal powers. And no variables appear in the denominator. So I can have fractions as the coefficients are constant. So I can have like a 1/2 x or 1/2 x to the 5th power, but you're not going to see x in the denominator, like 1 over x. That would be a different kind of function. So again, all of these things here are examples of polynomials in several terms. Okay, so let's look at what is factoring. The process of writing a polynomial as a product is called factoring. Okay, and a polynomial is completely factored when each of its factors is prime. So when we can no longer factor something, we're going to call it prime. So basically what we're doing when we say factoring is we're writing something in terms of its products. Now products are things that get multiplied to give you something, okay? So not only can we factor, are we going to factor polynomials, but we have numbers that we can factor. And there's different ways to factors and different strategies to factor depending on the type of polynomial that you have. So we're just getting started. We're going to look at factors of numbers, and then we'll continue on with factoring polynomials. So it says, for example, of factors, the numbers 2 and 3 are factors of 6 because 2 times 3 get multiplied to give you 6. Are there any other factors of 6? Yeah, we have 1 and 6 because 1 times 6 is 6. Every number has at least 1 and itself as factors. Some will have more and some only have those 2 factors. So let's look at the first example here. It says find all factors of 18. So I'm going to start by writing the factors 1 and 18 because I mentioned every number has the factors of 1 and itself. Okay, so I list them. Notice the way I write them. I write 1 and then I go to the end and write 18 because I know that 1 is going to be the smallest factor, 18 is the largest, and all other factors are going to be in between these numbers. So I'm going to go in order. So what's next? 2. Does 18, can you divide 18 by 2 evenly? And you can. 2 times 9 gives you 18. So 2 and 9 are factors. So I'm going to continue on. What else? What about 3? Yep, 3 and 6 are factors of 18. So now I'm narrowing the gap. So any other factors have to be between 3 and 6. Well, what's next? 4. 4 is not a factor of 18 because I cannot divide 18 evenly by 4, and neither is 5. So these numbers right here will be all the factors of 18. Okay, let's look at one more. Find all the factors of 24. Okay, so again, I'm going to start like I did before, 1 and 24. And then I'm going to narrow my gap in as I find other factors. So I'm going to go to 2. What about 2? Yeah, 2 and 12 is 24. Okay. 3 is also a factor. 3 and 8, right? 4 is a factor. 4 and 6. And then the only number in between that is 5, and 5 is not a factor. So I listed all the factors of 24. So this is just the start of factors. We found some factors of numbers. So we will continue on in the next video.